Hello there guys, welcome back. It's a beautiful sight. We have Saul. He's been absent, we've been absent, we've not uploaded, but guess what? We are here today, back, doing the Raw review. So, Saul's back. Without going into details, Saul's been away. He's back, better than ever, may I add. And we are back doing the Raw reviews. I'm very happy to have him back. And this I do on my channel, but I'm extending it over to the SNR Reviews channel. For every subscriber that these two channels get, my channel, MrRammyWooWoo, and SR Reviews, until the end of March, I will be donating 10p towards cancer research on April the 1st. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Like I say, it's all free. It doesn't cost you a thing. It costs me, but I'm more than happy to be donating, and it's a very, very, very good cause. So any subscribers that we get on this channel and or MrRammyWooWoo channel, I'll add them all up April 1st, and I will put the donation towards cancer research. Brilliant. So support the cause.
Yeah, good charity to support.
Now, Raw is back. It is the last day of February, and we are.
Can I go a bit off topic? Because I was thinking about this. Right, it's lucky we've called our channel SNR Reviews, or even RNS would have been alright. But if you'd have gone for Marshall, would have either been M&S Reviews, so would have got an infringement from Marks and Spencer's.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
And if would have been S&M Reviews, that would have been a bit sort of dodgy. So yeah, choosing S&R was probably a wise.
I think I like the S&M now. You mentioned it though. Anyway,
okay,
moving on very quickly. Yes, SR Reviews. We are back. I'll be doing Friday Night SmackDown this week, and then hopefully next week, so we'll be doing AEW. And from there, then if there's movies coming out, if there's games coming out, if there's certain things coming out, we might just sit and review these things. But you'll have to stick around and find out. Hit that subscribe button so you know when you get our next videos. Enough self-promo. We are in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Woo!
For the final Raw of February.
Yep.
They said it later in the episode, but we are 32 today, as this comes out. 32 days away from WrestleMania.
Yeah, less than 5 weeks.
Less than 5 weeks. Now, hopefully, we do Mudmania. If not, I'm going to Money in the Bank in July.
Money in the Bank.
The reason I say that is there'll probably be a vlog, and like I say, you're looking forward to July, but there'll probably be a vlog and all stuff like that about the experience. But Money in the Bank is vital, and if you're Kyle, or Sutty as we know him, why would we have a WrestleMania sign in July? I know he will see this, and I know he's going to laugh. So, advertised for this show is Cody Rhodes versus Chad Gable.
I wasn't too excited about that when it was announced. But...
Yeah, the match. Becky and Lita versus Damage Control for the tag team titles.
Yeah, I was excited about that one.
And will Brock accept Omos's WrestleMania challenge? I'd like to say right now, based off that, this show is an 0.5 out of 5, and this is the review over.
I must say I've missed recording these reviews, but I certainly haven't missed.
He's had one match in 3 months on Raw.
Oh.
I saw that statistic earlier because I was doing some research about stuff about Omos and Brock, and basically, look, if Brock accepts, which we'll get into later, but if Brock accepts, you've got to think that Brock wants this match. It's not forced upon Brock, because people can say, I don't want to work with him. Brock has gone, oh, maybe I do want to work with him. Maybe I don't. We'll find out. But Brock clearly seems okay with it. And if he goes ahead with it, you've got to think, maybe Brock actually wants to help Omos out, which is good. Because he's a 7'3", 416-pound Nigerian giant. Omos.
I'd like to see Brock F5 Omos.
Now, I don't know if that's going to happen, but he's done it to Big Show, he's done it to Mark Henry, so, I'll be honest, I think it's doable.
Doable, definitely.
But we start off with a recap of SmackDown with Jimmy. So, basic premise of that was Jimmy and Sammy were talking in the ring. Jay comes down from the rafters, they start fighting, Sammy Haluva kicks the crap out of Jimmy's face. Looks very good. And Jay stood there conflicted. That's all we got. But we start off with Raw with Jimmy and Solo Sikoa
No J about though.
No Jay and no Roman. But we had Paul Heyman on the show later on, so that was a bit weird because you'd think if Roman wasn't there, Paulie wouldn't be there.
Yeah, you think it'd be sort of standing behind Roman on his Isle of Relevancy, just holding the belts.
Exactly, just, sipping a Mai Tai or whatever, a pina colada. The Bloodline is in your city, which, as we said, was the Grand Rapids, Michigan. As Benji thought it was, he, for some reason, didn't know where Grand Rapids was. And it wasn't until 2 hours into the show he went, oh crap, of course it's Michigan. So yeah, there's that. Family fights all the time. You know, if you've got family, you love them, you hate them. But one thing you do, you fight all the time, but you make it up, he says. And of course, we get Sammy chants.
Yeah, that annoyed him, didn't it? So they were chanting Sammy, and he was not happy.
So I had the pleasure of having Benji with me for the review, and some things he said was quite funny. But one of the things he said was he loves that Solo Sikoa's expression never changes. So mine is now Solo, no expression, Sikoa. You've got Seth frickin' Rollins, it's now Solo, quote it, little marks, no expression, Sikoa. And Jimmy says, oh, you really think that Kevin Owens could beat Roman Reigns? You really think that Sami Zayn could beat Roman Reigns? Do you really think that Cody Rhodes? And that was a massive pop, and of course, you do it for the pop. Could beat Roman Reigns? Hell no, he can't. So I was like, oh, okay. This is a great way to hype up. Do you actually think that Cody? Now, quick prediction, Saul. Do you think Cody's going to beat Roman at WrestleMania?
I mean, I honestly don't know.
I'll be honest. Part of me still wants Sammy. Part of me wants Cody, but at the same time, I also want Cody to lose. It does feel like it's just been given to him on a golden platter. And I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it, because my God, Cody deserves it. But I just feel the storyline is, here you go, golden boy. Now's your time to shine. And I'm all for it, but you've got Sammy who has worked, and basically the pop he could get by going over at WrestleMania could be amazing. My personal point of view is I want, leading up to WrestleMania, I don't think Roman's going to work 2 nights, but I want, leading up to WrestleMania, a match where Sami Zayn has to take on Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso for a chance to fight Roman again at WrestleMania. And as he's about to lose, who comes in but Jey Uso to take out his own brothers and give Sammy the win so that Sammy can go and face Roman at WrestleMania.
I mean, looking at it as it stands, a lot of people beforehand were talking about KO and Sammy versus the Usos. But in 5 weeks, I cannot see us getting to that point with how things are at the moment. KO just wants to go it alone, as we see multiple times in this. I think Sammy would probably be open to it, but obviously no interest in KO. And the way the Usos are at the moment, I can't see them wanting to tag together.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think 5 weeks is enough time to get us to that. So yeah, it makes sense to do something with Sammy and Roman at WrestleMania.
Yeah. And then we get told Roman's going to appear on SmackDown. In my return to Friday Night SmackDown, I've got Roman Reigns back. Acknowledge me, Roman Reigns.
I acknowledge you.
Thank you. You are my wise man. You are my wise man. Because trust me, there's been a lot of stupid decisions in the 6 weeks Saul's not been here. Like not uploading and not doing stuff. And now he's here to kick me up the ass.
Boot up the Jaxie.
Yeah, boot up the Jaxie. Street Profits come out.
Yeah. And they were trying to call out Jay as well, weren't they? They wanted Jay to come out.
Montez is a star. Dawkins is a star, but Montez. Elimination Chamber. Me and Saul recently watched Elimination Chamber. Watched for the second time. Montez is so over. He was doing sucky to everybody going, you go.
I was thinking he'd been recruited into a resurgent DX when I saw it.
But Tez is a star. He's got the charisma. He's got the athletic ability. He is someone you build your company around for the future. without a shadow of a doubt. And like I said, he comes out and he goes, Jay, is he in the back? Jay,
Yeah.
no, be up in the stands. Jay, where's Jay? And then he says, oh, you're probably just a bit upset because he's got a 1-up rating on the new game. He's 90 and you're 89.
Yeah.
I love that. Bringing the game into effect on a TV show never happens. You know, like in WWE law, the game doesn't ever affect what they're doing. And the fact, but obviously we live in a different age now. And having him say, oh, you're just upset because he's a one rating better than you, I thought was hilarious. And Montez, like I say, he's just going off on one. And he gets an easy pop because he's like, oh, Grand Rapids, Michigan. And they want the smoke.
Yep, they called Roman the absent chief because he's never there. So that's a nice dig against Roman.
And then we get an ad break. Because of course we do.
It's Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. I'll tell you this real quick. There's a bit further on, and it's in this match. We get 2 ad breaks in 6 minutes.
There's another one, isn't there? Yeah.
2 ad breaks in 6 minutes. Now, I've not done this for a while, and the first time I stayed up properly to watch a Raw, I've never wanted to shut my whole PC down quick enough. But we get the Street Profits versus the Bloodline finally after the ad break. Prediction, Saul, who did you go for here?
I went for the Bloodline. I
went Street Profits. Because I thought, oh, we'll give Tez a victory here. No. So, Jimmy versus Dawkins first. Got off quite strong. Dawkins, by the way, lovely cartwheel. Reminiscent of Stardust. However you want to do the whole Stardust thingy, I'm trying to do it. No, that's AJ Styles reshuffle. That's I can't do the Stardust hand thing, but you get the idea.
Yeah. Dawkins took control to start with, but it didn't last long before Jimmy turned things around.
So Tez, I put Tez being Tez because, well, Montez is just him. And he goes into the corner with him and goes, oh, you can kiss my ass. And I just put, who can kiss your ass? Okay. We get a recap of Tez in the Elimination Chamber. And let me tell you, he was amazing in this Elimination Chamber. If you've not watched it already, go watch Elimination Chamber. Star Maker Performance really is the moniker here. And I love it because he goes to do a dropkick, Montez. He goes, see ya! I'm like, is there any need to just shout see ya at him for a dropkick? But it's now called the see ya dropkick. We get a really good combo from Angelo Dawkins. And just before we're about to hit the second ad break, we get, and I've put in words, and because we don't do swearing on this channel, crap graphic for crappy crap idea concept. You can translate it however you want, but that is the graphic for Will Brock Lesnar accept Omos's challenge at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I didn't need to be reminded of that.
I'm sorry, but look, the 2 ads in 6 minutes, and there's another explicit. And we get back, and it's Angelo Dawkins and Solo Sikoa.
Yeah, they were able to get a bit more into the match after that ad break, weren't they? Up until that point, it had been mainly the Bloodline that had been controlling the flow.
Yeah. I said to Benji during the whole of this, picture in picture. Like, I even have the ads go, but picture in picture, like, it breaks up so much. Because at that point, we've got a really good combo for Andrew Dawkins, and then bam, it goes off. Now, I know they're tailor-made to the ads, and they will do stuff to make sure the ads come in and whatnot. But you come back in, and Andrew Dawkins was standing tall before the ad break, and all of a sudden, Solo Sikoa's got control of him after the ad break. And it really, for the viewers at home, you really miss out on what's happening in that match. Now, I will get to watch SmackDown and Money in the Bank when July, and I actually get to see live what happens when an ad break happens. That's going to be an eye-opener to me, and I'll understand it in July. But for now, I don't know what they do in that time. They'll probably still wrestle. They might have a bit of interaction with fans. But it's, for me, why change? Like, the ad break, you come back, and it's like, oh, this. And I'm like, well, Andrew Dawkins was just in control. What happened? And sometimes they don't show you what happened.
No. I think the thing that springs to mind most with that was, remember when we had that Dexter and Miz fight
Yes.
a while back, and there was an ad break. We come back to the ring, and Dexter's got that vice clamped to his head
Yeah.
or whatever, and we were like, they didn't show a replay of where it came from, and we were just sort of dumbstruck that how they'd got to this point, and they didn't even explain it. And that's just the sort of thing that picture in picture would be good.
Yeah.
You might not hear what's going on, but at least you can get a visual of what's happened.
Exactly. Just picture. I mean, NXT do it, and I think it's brilliant.
Yeah,
and
this is the thing. Is NXT on a different channel? Do we think?
NXT's on the USA Network, is it not?
I don't know.
We'll have a quick. Joe, what? Live on air, live whilst we're doing this. NXT, on USA Network, and NXT is indeed on the USA Network.
And is that the same as Raw?
I believe so. Let's have a look.
So yeah, so if it had been on a different channel, I could sort of understand why there wasn't picture in picture, because maybe it depends on the network that's running it. But if
Raw is
they're
on
both
the WWE Network. WWE Network.
USA
Network. That's the one.
Well, if they're both on the same network, why can't you have picture in
Exactly.
picture? Yeah.
SmackDown's on Fox. I understand that. You probably will want the ads in there on SmackDown, because I can't wait to have ads every 5 minutes on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
It's Fox.
The other thing is, as well, SmackDown, I can understand it a bit more because you've only got a 2-hour show.
Yeah.
So you've got less space to put the ads in. Whereas Raw being a 3-hour show, they've got so much out of the ring segments and stuff, backstage stuff. You don't need to have 2 ad breaks in 6 minutes during a match when you could have placed either of those ad breaks either side of the match.
Yeah, we actually got, and before we go on obviously to the later ones, we got some pretty like quick matches, and I just think you can just do ads here, picture in picture that.
Yeah.
Just, But hot tag time. Tez comes in, great hot tag segment. And I put Solo Star. Why did I put Solo Star? Oh yeah, just way Solo sold. We get a distance frog splash, or at least we think, but it looks like there's a bit of miscommunication because Montez doesn't quite get up quick enough. And it looks slightly off.
Mm-hmm.
And you think, oh, it's going to be superplex. No, he puts him down. Standing frog splash.
Mm-hmm.
You're thinking, oh, is it the frog splash? It's a finisher. But you only got 2.5 count.
Yep. Near full.
Okay. And we tag. And it's the wrong opponent. They're beating up Jimmy, and it's the wrong opponent. Solo has made the tag. And there's a bit where they get onto the top rope, and Montez gets pushed off the turnbuckle. He eats that mat.
Yeah. That's painful.
Yeah. And next minute, Solo Sikoa's in the ring. Gets out his big thumb, his big taped thumb. Bang! Samoan Spike.
Poor old Dawkins.
Yeah. Solo Sikoa wins, and we get the post-match beat-up. But before we get any further, what rating did you give the match?
I gave the match a 3.5 out of... Are we doing it out of 5?
Yes. Yeah.
3.5 out of 5.
Yeah, we're not quite Dave Meltzer with 7 stars or wherever he wants to go with it. It's 5 stars for us. I give it a 3.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's a TV match, of course, but I just don't understand having, like, in some ways I understand, but having Tez and Dawkins lose here just derailed any momentum from Elimination Chamber that they had recruited through Tez. Whereas I think a loss to the Bloodline makes more storyline sense.
Yeah.
Or distraction. But, yeah, 3 out of 5 for me, and a 3.5.
Right. The issue we've got with the Street Profits is they're over, which obviously isn't a bad thing. But while those, this goes back to Roman having both of the world titles, while the Usos have got both tag team titles, there's not really a lot more that the Street Profits can do.
Yeah.
There's nothing for them to aim for. You can't say, oh, we're going to chase this title or whatever, because both titles are on the Usos. And they need to separate these titles. like they should do with the world title.
Yeah.
And if they keep the Street Profits together, give them something to chase. Just don't have them keep winning a match, losing a match, and it's
Yeah.
just not going anywhere.
It's like I say, since we've had the titles together, it don't know, the Bloodline story's been great, but you're so suffocated in the Bloodline story that you can't do stories with other people. It's so difficult to have feuds outside the Bloodline, because even if it's not for the title and Sam is in there or whatever, and what they're doing, like War Games, there were no title on the line, and that was great, but it sucks because you've got 4 titles queued up to 3 people, obviously tag team Roman, but that's 4 titles. That's 2 main titles and your tag team titles. You know, you've got.
It's not even as bad with Romans, because at least on the bright side, they've elevated the Intercontinental title and the US title, with him sort of having the monopoly on the world ones. That's boosted that. I mean, I still don't like him having both titles for the length of time he's had, but it's elevated them. But tag teams, there's nothing else for.
No.
Yes, you've got the NXT titles, but you can't have people. It was fun when the New Day won them because they hadn't won them before. But you can't then constantly have main roster talent picking up the NXT titles.
Yeah.
Because then what do the NXT tag teams aim for?
Because if you look at the tag teams on Raw and SmackDown right now, you've got Street Profits, you've got Bloodline, potentially the Judgment Day, depending on how it's a faction, but depending on who they use. And then you've got
Gallows and Anderson,
where they've not been about for a while. Because AJ's not been on TV.
Yeah, I think because he broke his foot or ankle or whatever.
And then over on SmackDown, you've got Viking Raiders, or whatever they want to call themselves nowadays. Brawling Brutes. And because Braun Strowman and Ricochet got put together for some reason. You got Legado del Fantasma. All these tag teams
Maximum male models.
All these tag teams that are in waiting, but actually can't do anything because the titles are queued up on Jimmy and Jey Uso. They're stuck in this Bloodline storyline. You've put all your eggs in one basket, and it pays off. The storyline's been great, but you need to get to a point now where you can finish this story and just cater out to everybody. Tag teams on Raw, tag teams on SmackDown fighting for those belts. A big champion on Raw and a big champion on SmackDown.
I'll tell you what I wouldn't mind. Jimmy versus Jey at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And then the titles just get separate. They get stripped of the titles.
Hell, I wouldn't mind Jey versus Roman to finish up that storyline.
Yeah. Anything like that. Bloodline versus Bloodline.
Yeah.
Would be good, yeah.
So after the post-match beat-up, KO comes in and saves the Street Profits. And he starts shouting, "I'm not done. I'm not done." Very Sammy-esque. The energy was Sami Zayn-esque. But he wants to be alone. And then Joe, weirdly, I've actually got a lot of notes for a segment I think I would have hated.
What's this, the Rock?
So,
the MVP segment? Yeah.
So, we come back and they are promoting Creed 3. And they basically say that in 9 years of Creed story time and Edge being away, and they get people to promote Creed 3. Now, me personally, I'm excited. 3 days, I'm going, I say I'm going to. I might go to cinema to watch Creed 3. Because I'm very excited. I love Creed. But they start doing that, and then all of a sudden, Brock Lesnar's music hits. Is he going to accept the challenge? His music hits. It's VIP lounge time.
Yeah.
Now.
He came out before MVP. What is up with that? That's a bit rude.
MVP theme, new theme, sucks. I hate this theme. I love the 1, 2, hit the ground running. I prefer that theme song. I love that theme song. But this one, bag of crap. Anyway. And so
they can't all be bangers, unfortunately.
Bloody no, but I wish they were. So MVP theme song, not the best. However, Brock is out, as you said, before MVP. So MVP's basically crapping himself at this point. Because he's there like, well, this is not how it goes down. This is not how it's supposed to happen. And he's scared. He doesn't want to. And the crowd start chanting Suplex City. He's like, no, don't tell him that.
No.
No. Don't tell him that.
Brock did promise not to suplex
yes.
MVP.
Didn't promise not to F5 him. That's the key point. And Brock sits back and he's like, MVP, you're a promoter. You do this. I want you to sell me the fight. I want you to sell me Omos versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. And by the looks of things, it looks like Brock's show. Because Brock's sat there letting MVP do the talking instead of the other way around.
Yeah, he was very chilled in that chair, wasn't he?
This Brock Lesnar is the best Brock Lesnar. We've said this before, we will say it again. I never, ever thought Paul Heyman would be away from Brock Lesnar in his career. Because that's how it's always been. It's been Paul and Brock.
Yeah, all the way back to when he debuted in 2002.
And now we get Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns, which, by the way, works. But we get Brock, just former Brock, and it's brilliant. It really is brilliant. So, at this point, we're selling the fight. And MVP basically says, any man, when you come up against the Beast, Brock can manhandle any man you put out in front of him. Doesn't name names, but Braun Strowman, Kane, The Undertaker, Triple H, all these men basically have fell to Brock Lesnar. And he goes, any mortal man could not go against the Beast, but a giant in a 7'3" 416-pound Nigerian giant, because that's all they kept trying to put over.
Yeah.
Whereas, he's 7'3" and he's 416 pounds, and he's from Nigeria. That's great, but one kick of the balls and he's about 4 foot tall.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. So, and I get what they're trying to emphasise, but again, Omos has not been featured. This gives me Ryback Mark Henry vibes, right? This gives me Mark Henry Big Show vibes, Mark Henry Viscera vibes. It's two big men at WrestleMania. It feels like a Vince match. It feels like a Vince match. Because
I think they're stymied a bit in the fact that they can't put Omos against a smaller person because Omos can't wrestle.
Yeah.
So he's got to be in a match with a relatively large guy so they can just have a stand-up meat slapping match. But he's not even exceptional at that, is he?
He's exceptional at being poor. Is the way I look at it. And so he sells him this fight, and MVP goes, you can't beat a giant. He's no ordinary man. No, he is. He's a giant man. The whole point of a giant is a bigger man than the average man. Brock Lesnar's a beast means he's not a man. He is not human, basically. He's a beast. But the terminology behind a giant is a bigger man, a bigger human, a bigger woman. Because China was a giant. China often got portrayed as a giant.
Especially when you compare her to the size of the other women.
Exactly. The average woman was nothing compared to China.
Well, China was Intercontinental Champion. She and Chris Jericho wrestled a lot over that Intercontinental title. You didn't get many women back then, or ever, who were in WWE have wrestled for men's titles.
China, bless her, brilliant. There's an A&E documentary episode coming out shortly of China. It's next week. I can't wait for it. Cannot wait for it. But China's a giant. Omos, Big Show, Mark Henry, these are giant people. But what doesn't work is when you categorize it into the giant versus the beast. Because if you're going to try and sell it, I would say any ordinary man, right? Because Brock's a beast, so technically, he's like, this ain't no ordinary man, this is a Nigerian giant. And I get what you're trying to say, but a giant is still a man, a giant is still a woman. It's just a bigger than average, more than average person. Shaquille O'Neal is a giant compared to me. He's Undertaker. Undertaker might look average, which he's not by any means, let me tell you that now. But because of his stature, he wasn't a giant, but he was 6'8", 6'11", something like that.
Mm-hmm.
He was the top end, nearly 7 foot. That man's a giant compared to me. I'm small. So Undertaker to me is a giant, right? That is the comparison you're wanting. But you're trying to say that, a beast can't be a giant because he's no ordinary man.
Mm.
And I'm like, you want to come up with a different name because Omos is a man. He's just a bigger man. He's beat Mark Henry. He's beat
bigger man.
Even that I wouldn't mind. But he's beat he's beat Undertaker, he's beat Kane, he's beat Big Show. He's picked up Big Show and F5'd him with ease, may I add. You know, he's beat Bobby Lashley, who, by the way, that's a giant of a man. That's the almighty Bobby Lashley. Feels like a big deal. He
did end up beating Goldberg, didn't he, in the end?
Yes, Goldberg.
After the
5 says fit. Yeah, I love that match. I love that match.
Who else has he beaten?
But you look at the people he's beaten, and I'm not going angle-wise, but you look at Brock and you think Undertaker, Kane, Triple H, in all fairness, Big Show, Mark Henry. We had that match, Braun Strowman, right? We had the match with Kane, Braun Strowman, and Brock Lesnar. Dismantled both Braun and Kane, which I think he would do properly. But Omos hasn't got that fear factor about being a giant. He's just a tall player. He's just a tall superstar. There's nothing that excites me about Omos. You look at Braun Strowman, and he's rugged. He's got promo skills. He can run a train through you because he's just the Strowman Express. But he looks like he could manhandle you because he is also a strong man. He was an ex-strong man. Mark Henry, the world's strongest man, would manhandle you because he's the strongest man alive, quite literally. The Big Show. Wonder, Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
You go in.
Even I'd say people, not exactly tall, but someone like Otis is just a huge man, isn't he?
So, in terms of that, I just don't think this Omos character works. And MVP is a mouthpiece, great. But Omos hasn't wrestled a Raw show in 3 months, or if at least he has. He's wrestled 1 Raw match in 3 months.
Yeah,
that's it.
He might have done the odd dark match before or after, but that's not going to be much to write home about, is it? Because they're not showing it on TV.
So, MVP sells him this fight. Brock accepts. Now, people are going, Brock's been forced into this. Brock has, I believe, a lot of creative control in WWE. Because he's Brock Lesnar. And I do not think for a second that if Brock did not want to do this, he wouldn't do it.
No, he's definitely his own person.
Yeah, I think Brock wants to do this match. I think Brock wants to help Omos out, which is great. But can you help Omos out? Because something's not clicking with Omos. Something's not there. All his character is, he's a 7'3", 416-pound Nigerian giant.
He's got no mic skills, which is why they've got MVP.
Yeah.
And
he lost to Braun Strowman at Crown Jewel. Which, by the way, took 1 power slam. Wasn't even a match. Omos did a bit of hit here, hit there. Braun Strowman pretty much picked him up for 1 power slam, and by the way, won. So I was like, yeah, I'm not sold, because it's Omos. I'd rather seen Bobby and Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania again, or Bobby, Brock, and Bray, which we'll get on to. And I'm just there like, I think this is a step down for Brock, if I'm honest. But I guess it gets him on the paycheck and gets him on WrestleMania, so who cares for him, really? He don't care. And he goes, that was good, high five. And I'm like, Brock Lesnar in 2002 would have not have done this. He'd have F5'd him through the ring 20 times.
They decided to have a toast, didn't they?
Yes.
With, some of Brock's apparently homemade alcohol.
White Lightning is what they called it, didn't they? Where I'm from, this is called White Lightning.
If there's anything like the White Lightning cider we get over here in the UK, then I certainly don't blame MVP for what he did. I'm
not drinking White Lightning, but I'm drinking Monster. Sponsor me! Well, anyway. So
Other types of soda, cider, and energy drinks are also available.
yes. And they have a drink, and it's boo. And so then MVP says, "Oh, I'll stick to the champagne," and Brock goes, "No, you will drink this." So he drinks it. And he spits it back out at Brock Lesnar. You dumb mother.
He did try and apologise.
He tried. I was like, oh, dearie do, you effed up.
Yeah, effed up and got
So
F5'd.
Brock looks calm. He goes, okay. So he gets his handkerchief, whatever it is, and wipes his face, blows his nose, and puts it back in MVP. And then picks him up and F5s him.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Now, this bit made me laugh the most for one reason. He promised he wasn't going to Suplex City. Didn't promise about an F5.
No,
And the way
it's like laying there at the end.
I've got a picture, and I will probably share this around without putting it into the video. But basically, there's a bit in Family Guy where Peter Griffin's fell down the stairs, and his arm's all mangled, he's on the floor. That's what MVP was. If you've watched Family Guy and you've seen Peter Griffin fall down the stairs, you know exactly what I'm on about. It looked exactly like it was hilarious. MVP posted himself. It was brilliant. And I put, yay, crap match announced. I don't care. So, yeah.
We'll have to see what happens. Still 5 weeks. So.
Yeah. Obviously, when it comes to WrestleMania, we will do the WrestleMania predictions when we know all the matches are out.
Because, things obviously subject to change.
Yes.
Aren't they?
So, we've got Becky and Lita. The backstage, they do but there's not much context here, but basically they're just saying, I'm Becky Lynch, I'm Lita, we're great.
The titles.
Yeah. Great tag team hype promo, really, wasn't it? Nothing exciting, I'd say, but it was something.
Yeah, just a little bit of filler, weren't it?
And we now get Cody versus Chad Gable.
I'll put poor Chad, but that was, as I was taking notes, when I saw who was coming to the ring.
So, SmackDown's in Washington on Friday. Great. Remember that. And John Cena returns next week on Monday Night Raw in his hometown of Boston, Massachusetts. And before we get into the match, my 3 notes were, should be a good match. However, not hyped for the match. And thirdly, made that girl's day probably year with the belt.
Yeah, it was nice, Cody giving her the replica belt before the match. Sort of reminds me of things that wrestlers used to do in the past. One that stands out the most was Bret Hart. He used to give one of the kids in the crowd, his wraparound glasses. Just a nice touch for a face to do something like that.
Yeah, wrestling's all about the kids nowadays. It's all about how can we get your excitement and your reaction. And look, probably paying good money to be in that seat, but at the end of the day, you are sat in that seat, and you can get a high five from a wrestler, but the fact that Cody turns around and goes, here's my belt, is astonishing. Some people might sell that, some people might keep that. But again, it's about making that kid's day or year. They've gone to that show just to watch the show because they enjoy wrestling, and then they've just interacted with their favourite wrestler, whether it be Cody, whether it be Brett, whether it be Otis.
I think I remember back in AEW when he was still there, he was giving away shoes or something to the crowd. And I think he's a genuinely nice guy.
Yeah.
Cody.
And the thing is, as an entertainer, and through watching a lot of documentaries recently, which we've still got any documentaries to watch, but I've watched other ones like The Miz. If you've not already, quick side note: The Miz WWE 24. I've seen clips. It's well worth a watch because it goes through all his crap that he went through when he first joined about not being respected and all this stuff. It looks like a good watch. But from that, one thing he said was, these people are coming to watch you. You've got to give them something back. Whether it's a heel, whether it's a face, you've got to give them something back. They're the reason you're stood in that ring. You know, they may play, oh, we hate the crowd, we hate you people. But that's them giving recognition to you people being in those seats, watching them perform, and helping them do what they love.
Yeah, I mean, like we say, Miz obviously acts like a jerk most of the time, but you can tell he appreciates all the
And
fans
he's
and
had to
that, and
work to get to where he
hard.
has.
Yeah,
Yeah. He is the definition of work and you will succeed.
I
Because
think
he
he's one
was...
of the most underrated
Yeah.
wrestlers. Yeah,
Yeah. And
so,
he, as a heel, he is top
mhm.
notch. So, yeah. Predictions. Cody.
Cody. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I was thinking this might have been a bit of a squash, but it didn't turn out that way, which
Yeah.
is nice.
So we start off the match. Loud Cody chant.
Mhm.
Very loud. There was a really nice bit where he goes in the corner, flips up over him, where he's like, he doesn't just flip, he kind of turns himself, goes over, goes for a power bomb,
Mhm.
and then as soon as the power bomb hits and goes through, Chad Gable's already got it in an ankle lock.
Yeah.
How do
They were,
you?
it's crazy, isn't it?
Chad Gable, by the way, another seriously criminally underrated
Mhm.
superstar. He
Definitely.
needs a US title or a Intercontinental title run.
Mhm.
Because that man, he does remind me of Kurt Angle a lot. He does.
Mm.
And that is kind of the idea. But Chad Gable as a heel works like Kurt Angle as a heel worked.
Mm.
He's that damn good. You hate him for it.
Yeah. I think hopefully with what's going on with Otis, they might be splitting them up, and that hopefully that will give Gable a chance to go focus on a US or an
Yeah.
intercontinental title push. Because again, this is another tag team that's been stifled by not having tag team titles to go for.
Yes. Really nice reverse suplex from the top rope to Chad. Inverted. By the way, never take that in a million years.
No, that looked like it'd kill you, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it looks nasty.
Mm.
Ad break. We come back and there's 2 dragon screws that have been applied to Cody.
Yeah.
And again,
He's
we...
selling that knee injury.
Unless they showed you the replay, which obviously they did, we would not know that his knee hurts because he got dragon screwed.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, could beat never mind Gable. We get the Cody comeback.
Yeah.
Really
He
nice.
avoided the flying headbutt, didn't he?
Yes.
And Gable then did a good job of selling that his head because he looked like he was didn't know where he was.
It was a beautiful diving headbutt, which didn't connect, but disaster kick looked like it hit the mark.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, brilliant. We get a segment going, oh, we've got Miss TV later. Yay.
Yeah.
Asuka versus Carmella later as well.
Mm-hmm.
But then we get a figure 4 leg lock, which, as Benji pointed out, if you go to your stomach and they say, oh, reverse, it actually applies more pressure. It hurts more to go in your stomach than it does originally.
Mm.
So why they think the reversal to get out of it is to go in your stomach is beyond me.
Mm-hmm.
I love this. Went for the disaster kick, but then turned it into a German suplex.
Yeah, that was sweet.
This match at this point, by the way, was amazing. And then this one spot. Chad picks Cody up in the razor's edge, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Is what I can call it. Picks him up for the razor's edge. And lifts him. Flips his body over into a DDT.
Mm.
This was beautiful. It's simple, and it took a bit to set up, but I called it the razor's edge DDT. Picks
I
him
don't
up.
think I've ever seen that before.
And people forget this is Chad Gable, one of the best technical wrestlers in the company. But because of how he is with Otis and how he's been portrayed, you kind of forget that. Picks him up, launches him over, bam, DDT, beautiful. Goes for the moonsault, which I forgot, did he hit? No. And I love the intensity. You know, all of a sudden, Cody's getting hyped up, he's like, and then he goes for a dive to the outside. And again, another great spot in this match. Dive to the outside, Otis is looking away at something. So Cody walks up to him, puts on, oh, is she over there? Yeah, she's beautiful, isn't she? Yeah, she's over there, yeah. This was brilliant, because Otis don't have a clue. And he's just going, she's just gorgeous. And then he turns and went, what are you doing here? And Cody's like, I don't know. And it's so funny when Cody can express himself, and Otis obviously is just brilliant, but they can express themselves and just have this funny segment in the middle of a match. It's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, she's over there. Yeah. Wait.
Because that had been quite a serious match up to this
Yeah.
point, hadn't it, as well, yeah.
And then we get back in the ring, and that Cody cutter
Cody cut up was insane, yeah.
jumps up, one rope to the other, just launches back. It's what me and Benji said. The trust you have to have in your opponent to catch you, or to like get the move set up spot on
in the right position.
Yeah, you've got to trust. You've got to have so much trust in those people. I mean, who wouldn't trust Chad Gable? He has a clinic every time he wrestles. And I'm thinking, oh, that's beautiful. How can you top that? An even better Crossroads.
Yeah.
He spiked him. And Chad Sell was, well, I'm dead.
Yeah.
This...
I mean, with these guys, they're both great technical wrestlers. And pretty much from bell to bell, it was an awesome match.
Yeah.
And it's a surprise because Cody's a lot higher up the rankings than Gable is, so they could have easily made this a squash.
Yeah.
But it did feel like a competitive match throughout, and I think that's mainly due to the talent of the two guys that you've got in there, Cody and Chad, both great wrestlers.
Yeah.
And they made it seem like a proper match.
They're beautiful. I gave this a 3.5 out of 5.
I gave it a 4.
That's fair. I was teetering on a 4. I think I just needed a bit more time for a 4. I'd like to see these two go at it again.
Yeah,
I'd like to see if Cody becomes champion, open challenge, and Chad challenges him. That's something I'd like to see. Give him a championship match. Give him a, like, not a, oh, here's a championship match, but like a kind of, right, you've earned the right to challenge for the title. Go be you, go show off, because an open challenge, I think, just cements Chad as being great as he is.
Yeah, I mean, if he has an open challenge and then he loses, and then he can go for a mid-card title and hopefully win one, because he definitely deserves to get a title.
And Cody promo, he goes, oh, we're 33 days away from WrestleMania. Now, obviously, it's 32 today, but that's by the point. And Cody turns around and goes, oh, Roman's on SmackDown? Good. I'll be there too.
I'll be there.
Okay. So
Cody and Roman on the same show.
My first SmackDown review, I've got Cody and Roman. What have I done right in my life? Now, we're going to probably skip through a couple of... I say skip through, but we're going to probably skim through quite a bit of this, because...
There's not a lot going on really till
this second hour.
After this.
This second hour was shocking.
Matches are pretty, and there's a few sort of like little segmenty bits, isn't there?
So, first of all, Baron Corbin. We're about to interview Baron Corbin. Within 2 seconds, he's cut off. Seen a bit, off you pop. Kevin Owens is more important.
Yeah.
I mean...
So, what's been going on with... Just a quick recap, because I've obviously missed a bit. What's been going on with Corbin? Is he still getting on with JBL?
Nope, JBL's dropped him.
Okay.
Because the creative decision, from what I believe, and again, I've read, that might not be true, but speculation leads to believe, the WWE has dropped the ball with Baron Corbin. The wrestling god wasn't working. Because again, he lost...
Who did he lose to? I forget.
Johnny Gargano.
Johnny Gargano, yeah.
Near lost to Dolph Ziggler. Would fight people, and he'd lose. You can't be a modern day wrestling god if you're going to lose. So the gimmick didn't work. JBL basically got tired of him and dropped him. And Baron now is like, well, I've been left alone again. And hopefully he goes back to the lone wolf persona, which I'd like. Yeah. But so, yeah, it looks like creative just gave up on Baron Corbin. The character Baron Corbin doesn't get over very well. He's a great wrestler and he's a great performer. But his character, I mean, I hate the theme music to this whole... Oh, I'm the modern...
casino.
Yep. I'm the modern day wrestling god, but I've got a casino noise as my entrance. You want to be considered...
I quite liked Bumhouse Baron. He was a good character.
Yeah. And we go to KO. And basically says he doesn't want help. He wants to take down the bloodline by himself.
Yeah, fair enough. But...
Cool. Ain't gonna happen. Then we get a little skit of Bianca and Montez doing the Titanic. I
Yeah, because we got these
yeah,
movie things, didn't we?
prefer the Joker with Seth and Becky, but this was still
Mhm.
fun. This was still, you know, it's
Mhm.
WrestleMania, it's Hollywood. I don't mind it. So then we get the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
And
Dom has a great line here. Welcome to ex-con Dom's prison.
yeah, Dom in this
He's
role
been
is
amazing.
brilliant. And basically, we get Rhea versus Liv Morgan at SmackDown.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. And Finn versus Edge at WrestleMania is the
Yeah, yes
plan.
please, I'll put next to that.
Yeah, not confirmed yet, but looks like we're heading for
Hopefully.
Finn versus Edge at WrestleMania.
Mhm.
And then we get to a point where we come over, and the Maximum Male models talk to Otis.
Yes.
And basically say, "Oh, Otis, you need a match." And
Yeah.
he goes over and he goes, "Oh, Pierce, Adam," like the Meerkats, and
Yeah.
he goes over and he wants a match. So we might get an Otis match later.
Right. Yeah.
So then we get Asuka versus Carmella. Predictions.
Oscar.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I've looked at my notes and there's not a lot here because it's a filler match which you don't need.
We've got a couple of fillers, haven't we, coming up, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like I say, this is very skippable. So
we'll go through them briefly.
yeah, so if you're watching the video and you get to this point and you want to skip ahead, I'd highly skip ahead to a point where we talk about Becky Lynch and the end of the show,
because that was where things picked up again.
Yeah. So, first things first, Asuka's never defeated Carmella.
Yes, I've got this written down as well. I didn't realise this. And Carmella's beaten Oscar twice.
2 pinfall victories. Mad.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, really? Asuka's never beaten Carmella? Okay, that's intriguing. But then as soon as they said that, I went, oh, well, Carmella's losing then.
Yeah. Right, to be fair to Carmella, to give her a due, I do... it's very slow, but she is improving over what she was a year ago.
Yeah.
I mean, she's still definitely not up there with most of the women's talent, but she's not an Eva Marie who doesn't ever
Who just
get
can't
any
wrestle.
better. Yeah, she is slowly improving.
Yeah. So, the thing is with Carmella, I don't know what a finisher is.
No, I don't think I've ever had... she's been in the position to really hit a
proper
finisher.
Because, like, I look at it, and there's a super kick, and she gets a near pinfall, and we'd obviously look at Elimination Chamber, and I just don't know what a finisher is. I know Asuka's is the armbar, and it's Asuka lock, but Carmella, I'm not sure what a finisher is anymore. I don't know. So, question mark kick, looks a bit shaky. There's a nice big knee, big miss on the super kick. Carmella is in control of Asuka. This is my issue. Asuka's supposed to be facing Bianca. If she can't shrug off Carmella, you're doing it wrong.
You got an issue there, yeah.
I get you trying to build Carmella, maybe because she's come back, but Asuka's gonna kill you. She doesn't look like she's gonna kill Carmella, especially now she's essentially Kana. And if you guys don't know, Kana is her alter ego, this kind of heel version of Asuka, but it was in New Japan at the time. So for that, Kana is brilliant. However, it's a simple case of Kana doesn't look scary, doesn't look like she could damage people.
No.
It's weird. There's a really good combo, and I'm pretty sure it's Asuka eats a knee from... Carmella eats a knee from Asuka. We get a super kick, and it's a 2 count.
Yep.
Inside cradle. That was it. We get the Code of Silence. That's her finisher.
Yeah.
Which silenced me because it looked awful. So in which case, Asuka went over, put him in the Asuka lock, and about 3 seconds later, Carmella taps out.
Yeah. I mean, there's a little bit of back and forth and a few sort of reversals near the end, wasn't there? But then the Asuka puts the Asuka lock on, and that's it.
Like, I'm sorry to skip through as much as we have, but there's nothing exciting here.
No, nothing really stood out, did it?
Yeah, Asuka's just beat an opponent to get her ready for WrestleMania against Bianca, which, by the way, is still a weird matchup. Asuka won the Elimination Chamber to go beat Bianca, in which case, I don't think Bianca's losing at WrestleMania.
Probably not. No, I don't think so.
No one's been built up enough. You've got Rhea's beating Charlotte.
Charlotte.
I think that's a definite. I think that's got to happen. But I don't see Asuka beating Bianca. I don't see Asuka being a champion again.
No,
There's no
I
one
can't
on
see it.
Raw, apart from Rhea, realistically, that could challenge for that title.
No, I mean, and Bianca's so over at the moment. I
Yeah.
know Oscar's pretty over, but I just don't see Bianca losing it to Oscar. Yeah.
So I give this a 2 out of 5.
I gave it a 1.5 out
Yeah.
of 5.
And then we had a crap Bianca segment because
Yeah.
Bianca comes out and Asuka calls her out. Bianca comes down to the ring
Mm.
and it's like, oh, honey bun, you think you can beat me? I think Bianca might go heel.
That would be alright. I'd quite dig that.
I think Bianca's got the tools to go heel. She's got the sass to go heel. I think it works because Asuka, she won't turn heel. People love Asuka too much for her to go heel.
Yeah.
You know, so I think Asuka's going to be the face and Bianca might be the heel, which is a good dynamic. A heel Bianca.
It'd be nice.
You know, and you've got
It's
basically
different, won't it?
Yeah, heel Rhea and heel Bianca would be spearheads for their respective companies, SmackDown and Raw. And then you have Carmella comes in, takes them both out with one kick, and they're laid out. I'm pretty much laid out. What? Okay, so all of a sudden Carmella can just beat the crap out of Bianca and Asuka with one kick, and so there was that. And then
things get worse, and this is nothing against Candice or Piper, but
I love these two. But what are they doing?
Yeah, this was just.
So, Piper Niven's back. As I said to Saul the other day, Doudrop is no more.
Piper Biffin.
Piper Biffin. Piper Niven. And I was like, yay, we get to see Piper. I'm excited. Piper is a Scottish lass. She's from NXT UK. She's been on the UK scene. I love this. I'm ready for this. And we get told it's Piper versus Candice LeRae. Okay.
Yeah, I did think, this might be quite interesting.
By the way,
I was.
Candice LeRae, great theme music. Gotta say, pretty decent. At least we've got some good theme music. AMVP. But Piper seems to be a heel, which could work. I think Piper's too lovable, if I'm honest, to be a heel.
Yeah, I think maybe because she's still transitioning over from Doudrop, who was a heel.
Possibly. It's just one of those.
I know they're not referencing she was Doudrop, but it's blatantly obvious that they're the same person.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah.
So, Piper heel, leg drop miss. There's a great kick out, and pretty much the rest of my notes are not even. Yeah. So we get told.
We had Nikki come out, didn't we? Behind Candice at the start.
Yeah.
And there's a nice line from Corey who says, Nikki said she's lonely. She should join Plenty of Fish.
Yeah, that was a mental statement. Bobby versus Elias is coming up. Yay. That's where this is in the second hour, and I said to Benji, says I'm actually bored already. The first hour was okay. The second hour is so filler. It's awful. We go for a submission. Piper eats turnbuckle. And then all of a sudden, Nikki gets battered into the barricade by Piper.
Yeah.
And Candice scores a very, very poor roll up.
Yeah. I actually thought Piper was going to win this match.
I predicted Piper for this.
Yeah.
I predicted Piper, and no, Candice won. So I gave that a 1.5 out of 5.
I gave it a 1 out of 5.
This just awful.
Two talented people, and 3 if you include Nikki, because she's good at what she does.
Yeah.
And it was just.
There's pants.
Get rid of this match, and you spread the time this match was in advert breaks over the rest of the show. Yeah. And that would have been fine.
So we go backstage, and it's Johnny Gargano who's just celebrated Candice's win. Yeah. And he goes, Otis wants to make some hot stuff.
Hot action, yeah.
Hot action, that's one. Hot action. Wait, no, sounds weird. So we get told it's going to be Johnny Gargano versus Otis. But the Judgment Day appear. Okay. Oh my god, he said golf. Ha ha.
Yeah.
Okay.
He called them a bunch of adults going through a golf bag.
Yeah. And there's a weird pancake analogy. You know. But if Johnny can make it through Otis, we get Johnny Gargano versus Finn Balor next week.
Now that's an exciting match.
I'd put there, yes please. And you thought we were done. No, it's Miz TV now.
Yeah. The first half of this Miz TV thing.
It doesn't end, does it? It's just pants.
No.
So, we've got a massive surprise. Maurice has done something for the Miz better than anything. He's finally found him a set of balls. No, sorry, that's the wrong one. Turns out, the Miz is the host of WrestleMania Goes Hollywood.
Yeah.
So, okay, I get.
He'll be a good host, won't he?
I get the stick. Hollywood, the Miz, he's the host. I get it. And he goes, "Oh, we've got a host of Mania," and he's like, "Oh, my special guest is me."
Well, it can't be as bad as Hogan was last year.
No, Hogan. I mean, Hogan's just awful in any reiteration. I don't care if he was a good wrestler. Hogan, for me personally, I don't like the guy. Same as Bret. I don't like Bret Hart. And a lot of you may go, "What? I don't like Bret Hart. I don't think there's nothing special about Bret Hart. I really don't." But that's me.
For me, he's probably my favourite ever wrestler, Bret Hart.
See, Goldberg's mine. But that's
technically brilliant.
Yeah.
For me, Bret Hart.
Like, if I was to go in wrestlers, Rey Mysterio is the one that got me into wrestling. But Goldberg for me, and this is going back to WCW, very quick. Me and Benji spoke about this, and Benji doesn't like Goldberg. A lot of people don't like Goldberg. People forget that Goldberg beating the Fiend is not a Goldberg decision; it's a creative decision. Me, when I was looking back at WCW, and I looked at Goldberg and his undefeated streak, yeah, he wasn't the best wrestler. But my God, he had a superhero aura about him. Like, Goldberg was a machine. Spear, jackhammer, who's next?
Yeah.
You're next. And it was brilliant. It worked. And yes, Goldberg is Goldberg. And he didn't go over to WWE. When he did, he left in WrestleMania 20, admitted. But he's rewrote his history. And then crapped on it again because he got them to beat the Fiend, which... But
again, like you say, it's not his fault.
Yeah.
He was told he's got to win, and
I think people's got to understand. And Paul Heyman said this best because Paul Heyman did it inside the ropes, and was talking about who could beat Brock Lesnar. The name Goldberg will always spring to mind. He's massive. He's jacked. He's got this aura about him that basically he could kick your ass sideways if he wanted to. So why not have him beat? And the reason I say this is because Bret Hart, a lot of the time, will blame Goldberg for his injuries. But, and Eric Bischoff said this best, that moment is a kick that Bret takes, right? Now, admittedly, you look at what happened, yes, Goldberg's still raw, but Bret's got to take responsibility because he said, I can get this guy to where he needs to be. He needs to take responsibility for getting in that match with Goldberg.
Yeah.
No, he can't just blame Goldberg.
And people get injured for...
Yeah. I mean, look at Big E and Ridge Holland. Big E broke his goddamn neck. Does he blame Ridge? No, it happens. No. It's a sport that will happen. You know, the amount of injuries you will get from this sport is probably the most. It is the pedestal of injury, you know.
Yeah. You get people... we were watching the Undertaker documentary tonight, weren't we? And something like 32 serious breaks or something that when he was recording it.
Yeah, did Hell in a Cell match with Mankind with a broken ankle. You know. But that's how it was, and that's how it is. You just kept going with it. But yeah, little tangent there. But as I say, Hulk Hogan was a crap host and a crap person. So there's that. But Miz starts listing off the matches for WrestleMania. And I'll be honest, the card isn't where it needs to be yet, but we've got time.
Yeah, we've got 5 weeks.
Yeah. So. Seth comes out, love the song, love that theme. And he goes over and he says, "Oh, you're a B-hole." And Miz goes, "No, I'm not B, I'm A." So Seth went, "So you're an A?" "No, that's not what I meant." I love this. Like, it just simple comedy of going, you're a bumhole to you're an asshole.
Yeah.
Same word, different letter. Incredible. Asshole, asshole, asshole chance. So he wants Miz to call Logan Paul. Didn't Logan and Miz fall out and have a match last year? But whatever. Miz then insulted the jacket, which you don't do. You don't insult the jacket. So he gives him a stomp.
Yeah.
And the phone's on the floor. And he goes over to Miz and does face recognition, which, by the way, there was a really weird noise when he got his face recognition. It's because they hooked him up to the big monitor. And he goes, "Oh, how's Jakey boy? How's his loss?" Which I think, by the way, is a really cool kayfabe break. Because Jake Paul lost against Tommy Fury, thank fuck, because he's a knob.
Boxing match, didn't he?
Yes, the night before. And they brought it up, which I thought was really funny. And next week, it looks like we're getting Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins in a face-to-face.
Yep.
And he goes, "Oh, just before I go, bye-bye, bitch." Goes to Logan and goes, "Bye-bye, bitch." Throws the phone, and then, curb stomp to Miz. See you in a bit.
Yep.
So that was that. And then, damage control in the back.
And this is basically exactly the same as the Lita and Becky one before, but damage control saying that we're the best and we're going to win.
Yeah. Talks about their legacy. So they go off, and all of a sudden Austin Theory comes in the show. Yeah. And he basically says that, that we're setting up for Theory versus Cena at WrestleMania. That's what we're doing. So Theory goes, "Oh, the hustle, the loyalty, respect, and I've put the hustle in. I've got the loyalty to the US title, but I've not got the respect. I'm going to go show John my respect. He needs to do the same." So it looks like we're getting Theory versus Cena at WrestleMania, which I'm excited for. I think
it should be a good match. As long as Theory wins and they don't have Cena win it.
Theory, as I've said before, and you can go back onto my channel where we're doing these before, Theory has come so far in the time that he's been. Got rid of that crappy cell phone gimmick. He is a great wrestler. I love Theory. I think he's amazing. And as a heel, I think he just personifies it more. He's a cocky, young, arrogant dickhead, basically. But he portrays it so well. And he's a really nice guy in public. I've seen a lot of clips of him being like really sweet and nice to people. So there's that. And then I'm thinking, oh, Bobby versus Brock, maybe WrestleMania. Before that, we've got Bobby versus Elias.
Right, so let's sum up this match in 10 seconds.
Muscle Man. Done. Yeah, go on.
Bobby dominates. Rick Boogs taking notes backstage. Flatliner spear, hurt lock. Elias has died.
Yes. 1 out of 5.
Yeah. 1 out of 5.
We both predicted Bobby.
Yeah, because it was never going to be Elias. But I didn't realise it was going to be this short, this match.
Literally, Lashley manhandles Elias. Rick Boogs. Why? Elias overpowers Lashley. Never mind. Flatline, spear, hurt lock, submit.
Yeah. And that was the match, wasn't it?
Yep.
That can't have gone more than a minute.
No.
Cannot have gone more than
a minute. So then we go, Bobby's about to walk off, and Bray Wyatt appears.
First of all, he did that little about being pissed at Brock for getting himself DQ.
Yeah, and I don't play little kid games.
Yeah.
And then we get the Muscle Man dance from Bray to Bobby. I give this a 5 out of 5.
Do the Muscle Man dance.
I give this a 5 out of 5. This was incredible.
Yeah, this was brilliant. Probably the highlight of Raw this week for me. I was just staring open mouthed at it when it came on.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell am I watching? This is brilliant.
So I was like, alright, okay. Then we go backstage, and Chelsea Green's there, or Karen. She's playing the Karen character, I'm not sure if I like it.
Yeah.
So she starts talking to Adam Pearce and complaining about something, I don't know what. And then Carmella and Chelsea Green are talking to each other. They could potentially be a tag team, which I don't think I want.
No.
And
we're getting Bianca versus Carmella next week.
Yes. And as they were talking, "Shoosh, please," comes up, and I'm like, that's great placement. Yeah. Wonderful. So now we get Otis versus Johnny, and...
You're not saying it right. It's OT.
OT, versus Johnny Gargano. Predictions? Johnny.
Johnny.
Yeah. So, again, I'm going to go through this super quick because
Because it was not much of a match.
Yeah, and then we've got the main event that I want to talk about.
Which was,
So, Johnny gets flattened. There's a big splash. Johnny attempts stuff and doesn't work. Couple of drop kicks. Couple of super kicks. Otis flexes. For some reason. And the numbers game, they, maximum medals, get Johnny Gargano in a bit. And, oh, hello, Dexter. How you doing?
Because he tries to kidnap, was it Mace? Or
yes, Mace.
Yeah.
Marseille.
Marseille.
You're not saying it right, it's Marseille. Marseille.
Yeah. It was a nice couple of things at the end with this one, with Johnny with the sort of DDT thing through the ropes first
Yeah.
of all, and then he jumped up and did a sort of jumping DDT that
Yep.
spiked.
Springboard
It's
DDT and
Otis.
Otis. You saying it wrong.
Yeah.
And Johnny wins.
Yeah.
2 out of 5.
Yeah, I gave it a 2 out of 5 as well. So
I'll tell you
it wasn't
something.
anything special.
I'm actually not happy with Dexter's involvement.
No.
I don't think Johnny should be winning because Dexter got involved. I think that's a really bad move. Oh, Johnny can't win now because he's got Dexter in his corner. Yes, it evened up the odds, but you're now telling me Johnny Gargano, who, by the way, is one of the best wrestlers on the planet, can't win.
He should be able to take out the entire male models team on his own.
Yeah.
He don't need Dexter to do that.
No.
God.
And
that's no offense to the male models, but they're not in Johnny's league.
No.
Are they?
But we now know that it's Johnny Gargano versus Finn Balor next week.
Which, I'm happy that he won because we're getting to see that. So that's...
We go backstage, we've got Heyman. And Heyman's so good. He starts hyping up. We're getting Cody. He's going to go for a confrontation against Roman Reigns. And Kath's like, well, no, he just says he's going to appear. Roman's like, this is Cody Rhodes we're on about. Yeah. Is he going to confront Roman Reigns? Or is Roman Reigns going to confront Cody Rhodes?
The tribal chief.
Which
Which
speaks to me, if Roman Reigns is going to confront Cody, Roman's scared. That's a psychological point. Roman's got to confront Cody. If he wasn't going to confront Cody, he'd sit back and go, yeah, it's only Cody. But he's got to confront Cody, which speaks to me, he knows how big of a deal Cody is, which he should be. But he knows that he's scared. He's like, oh, crap, that's Cody mother in Rhodes, you know. We get the tag match next main event. However, next week we have Kevin Owens versus Solo Sikoa.
Yeah.
Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins in a face-to-face. Johnny Gargano versus Finn Balor. Bianca Belair versus Carmella. And who the hell is JC?
Cena.
John Cena and Austin Theory. That's the one. Yeah. I put John Cena and maybe Austin Theory.
Definitely Austin. Well, they didn't advertise it face-to-face. It's going to be coming out because they're building it, aren't they?
Main event, and just like this segment, we've got 15 minutes left. So, Becky's music hits, Lita's music hits. I predicted Damage Control before we go any further. Who did you?
I predicted Damage Control as well.
Yeah. So
now, I'm just going to put this out here. We've had 3 or 4 Duff matches in a row, haven't we?
Yeah.
By this point, get rid of one of those matches and expand this because it didn't have long.
No, this had 15 minutes. And an ad break. I'm pretty sure in that. Yeah, I had an ad break. Nearly had 2, I'm pretty sure. I'm about screaming my ears off.
Could have dumped probably not. You wouldn't have got much from the Bobby Elias match because that lasted about a minute.
Yeah.
But you could have probably junked the Piper and Candice match.
Yeah.
Because we got a good sort of 5 minutes at least out of that. Added that to this. That would have been better.
So, Lita's music, by the way, I love Lita's music. Like, you know when you're in for a proper feel, because when Lita's music hits, it's one of those iconic, like Stone Cold Glass Break. It's iconic. So, speaking of iconics, little known fact. The Damage Control members weren't actually supposed to be Io Shirai and Dakota Kai. It was supposed to be... Wait for it. Have you seen this?
Iconics? No, I haven't seen it. But
not the Iconics.
Oh.
One of them, it was supposed to be Tegan Knox and Peyton Royce.
Oh, I didn't realise that.
Yeah. Oh. Bailey said it on an interview very recently. It was supposed to be Tegan Knox and Peyton Royce. But it ended up being Io Shirai or Io Sky and Dakota Kai. So, Becky starts. Lita's in versus Dakota. Lita, by the way, looks incredible.
Yeah.
She doesn't look like she's missed a step.
She don't look like she's aged at all. Really,
no, she doesn't. She's 47. Looks incredible and performs incredibly. Let's go Lita chance. We get in our double suplex. Quick 1 count. Frequent tags from Becky and Lita.
Yeah, they were in control quite heavily at the start, which was a bit of a surprise to me.
Yeah, a little bit of a surprise, but then again, it's Lita. So, and Becky, it's weird. Vintage Lita we get.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got Lita, because I think she tried to do something and I was a bit...
That she did like that. That was what I think when Becky got on the ground and Lita went to run along and sort of use her as a springboard, and it just looked a bit
flat.
flat.
Yeah, that was it.
She didn't really get much oomph behind it. It's just sort, we were watching things on Extreme Rules the other night, and we said, "Oh, that don't look like it's going to hurt very much."
Yeah.
Just some of the things. It just looked like that. It just looked like she sort of walked up Becky's back and then bumped into him.
I was half expecting Whisper in the Wind. Not Whisper in the Wind.
That's what I thought she was going to do, the running up thing. And,
yeah.
But no, she just sort of bumped and then pushed her arm against him, and it didn't look.
Then we get an ad break, which, by the way, at this point we've probably got about 8 minutes left, and I'm thinking, for God's sake, Becky's in control.
Yeah, she did that cannonball, didn't she?
Yes.
Just before the ad break, I think, and took out both Io and Dakota.
Yeah, because she was on this side. Really good leg drop from the top rope from Becky. Double move, 2 for 1. Becky DDTs and like face plants, damage control. Then we get the Diamond Dust, which I completely forgot that was the Diamond Dust, and it's a signature apparently.
Yeah.
Then she goes for the disarmer, but she gets a drop kick to the head. Lita gets slammed on the desk. Yeah, Lita gets slammed on the desk, and then springboard backflip. Huh? Oh, Io. It looks like a 10. It's Io goes onto the ropes and hits a springboard backflip onto Becky. I'm like, okay, this match is getting somewhere. I like this a lot. We get a 2 count from it. There's a really good combo from Dakota and Io. And Dakota hitting the scorpion kick looks so odd, but so good at the same time.
Yeah, she does look like she lands it well. It's a bit of a weird looking maneuver.
Yeah, then we get a double clothesline. And we're setting up for a Lita hot tag. Everyone's off the feet. Oh my god, Lita hot tag. Bayley, the best heel in the business, takes her legs from underneath her. You dastardly heel.
It's the numbers game, isn't it? I've got the numbers game. 3 on 2, basically.
Speaking of numbers, what happens where you had 2 and 1?
You get 3.
And we get a 2.75 count. That didn't work out as best as I planned. But a third person appears. Saul, who just appeared?
Trish Stratus. I tell you what, even I popped at home seeing Trish come out when her music hit. I thought this was a match because you already knew you're getting later. But to have Trish come out, because they're quite good, although they had their rivalry in the past, they're obviously quite good.
They're best of friends, aren't they?
Yeah. And to see her come out, and she went straight after Bayley, sort of fez pressed her, punched her, and then she just laid her out with a right hand. And I was like, yes, this is amazing.
So I actually heard about Lita and Trish potentially coming back. But they did it weirdly because they put Lita with Becky and didn't bring Trish back. So immediately I'm thinking, oh, well, Trish ain't appearing. And Trish came, I was like, oh crap, that's actually surprised me because I didn't think Trish was about. So they swerved me.
Obviously, it wasn't spoiled in Wrestling Chat for us.
Yes.
Or anywhere, so that was...
Hunter, you NDA idiot person. So Lita finally gets the hot tag. Head scissors. Very weird DDT, I've got to say. Very weird DDT. And we're going up for the Lita Salt.
Yeah.
Doesn't quite get it. However, we get the Twist of Fate, which looked a bit stale. But Lita's not been in the ring for God knows how long. She'll only get better when she's back in the ring more. We get the chick kick from Trish to... And then we get Kai neutralised by Becky Lynch. Because on the outside. Yeah, disarmer on the outside on the ropes. And Lita goes up. Lita still hits one of the best moonsaults in the business, the Lita Salt. This looked stunning. 1, 2, 3.
New tag team champions.
I was expecting a kick out. I was really expecting a kick out at that moment.
I must admit, right, because we both said we thought Damage Control were going to win, but the moment Trish's music hit, I thought they're winning this, Lita and Becky. I thought now Trish is out, they're winning.
Part of me was like, oh, Trish is out. He was up the numbers game. But then I'm half expecting hit the Lita Salt to kick out, and then roles reversed, Damage Control being the heels, get one over, And then it leads to maybe Trish and Lita versus Damage Control.
So at Mania or something.
Yeah, but we've gone with Becky and Lita winning the tag team championships, and Trish as a third wheel. So are we getting Becky, Lita, and Trish versus Damage Control at WrestleMania?
Yeah, that would be a good match. Actually.
I'm hyped for that. If that's the direction, I like that. So we got.
I'm not being funny. Who is Damage Control? This is the only women's tag team really at the moment.
Yeah. Well,
is there anyone else to challenge for those tag team titles?
That's a fair point. No.
Unless you bodge it together with two random people.
Yeah. You are a bit screwed on that. But we've got new tag champs. Becky Lynch is a tag team champion. It's weird to say. And Joe, I enjoyed this win. Lita's having another run. Trish looks like she's having another run. And the tag team champs. Joe, what? Yeah. I'm all for it.
I gave this a 4 out of 5.
I
really enjoyed it.
I gave this a 3.5 out of 5. I enjoyed this. And the pyro that went off scared the crap out of him by the looks of things. They're like, oh, crap. Oh.
I mean, there were a few bits, but I think it's just ring rust for the. It's been a while since she's done anything, which isn't her fault. But and like you say, she'll improve over time.
Yeah. So I gave the match a 3.5 out of 5. I, however, gave the show a 3 out of 5.
I gave it a 3.5 out of. Although I'm wondering about that now because we had so many.
Yeah.
We had 2 good matches, 3 good matches, I suppose. We had Cody, Chad. We had the match at the beginning with the
Street Profits,
Street Profits,
and this match.
And then this one. But then we had some real turkeys, didn't we?
Yeah, the reason I've got this a 3 out of 5 is the Muscle Man dance actually increased it a bit because that was funny.
Muscle Man dance. That'll be where my extra 0.5 comes from.
Yeah. Albeit some of the matches were a bit hit and miss. We are setting up for WrestleMania, and we are starting to plant the seeds for things. So I am excited to where we're going.
Yeah.
And that's why I gave it 3. If it wasn't for stuff like Cena and Theory being planted, Logan and Seth, as much as I'm not a fan of that being planted, these little seeds with Cody going over to SmackDown. I'm excited.
Next week should be a good Raw.
Yeah.
Because what they've said announced this week.
Yeah. Like, I'm looking back, and the match at the start was brilliant. The Chad and Cody turned out to be a banger of a match, and the last match was really good. You know, it was kind of in there. Yes, it got let down by the matches in the middle because they were filler matches. They were awful. Asuka didn't need to face Carmella.
No.
Piper didn't need to face Candice, really. And Bobby Hella sure didn't need to face Elias for a minute.
No, that was a complete waste.
Even Otis and Johnny didn't need to happen, really.
No.
We could have just been, I don't know, Judgment Day beat down Johnny Gargano, Johnny versus Finn next week. You've saved a hell of a lot of time there. Yeah. Saved a hell of a lot of time by going through Otis and Johnny. Well, it is what it is. But yes, so your best and worst performer of the week.
Right, and this is because I'm going to give the best one to Lita.
Yeah, I'll put that on.
And that's only because, considering she may have had a few sort of little blips in her match, but it's been a long time since she's wrestled. She's won the tag team titles. Yeah, she deserves it.
Yeah. So, Lita, and it's time to bring out... Because from one champion to another, Lita, I've just picked up the RH, the Rami of Honor World Championship right here. This is going to Lita this week. So, for the next week, until next week's Raw, you are the honorary Rami of Honor World Champion until next week's Raw. So, well done, Lita. That's for you. From one champion to another. You've now got 2 belts. It's Becky's not Becky 2 belts, it's Lita 2 belts. But the worst performer.
It's gonna have to be Elias.
Right, I've got 4. Okay?
Yeah. Elias.
Elias? Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin, yeah.
Omos.
Omos, yeah.
And Brock Lesnar. Hear me out. And I'm picking Brock. Because he's in a match with Omos. Now, again, I get that, like, Baron is Baron. Baron can make a 5-second skip work. Oh, you couldn't show, oh, what the hell. And it's funny, you laugh at Baron, you get on with it. Elias, yeah, he was used to this match, but at least he got to wrestle, I guess. It's Brock, because I don't see why Brock would go from Bobby Lashley to Omos. I think it's a bad move. I don't think it's what Brock needs to be doing.
Yeah.
I'm not excited for Brock Omos. I could be surprised, because let me tell you now,
we could be surprised when he was facing Strowman.
Yeah, no, and we wasn't. So yeah, so the best is Lita, unanimously. It's Lita, very well done. I actually put Tez down as well, to be fair, because he's always just incredible. And yeah, the worst, Elias and Brock, realistically. So guys, thank you for watching. We are back. Yeah. We are back, and we are better than ever.
Eric Bischoff's theme song, wasn't it?
Yes, it was actually. But we are back.
Better than ever, maybe he was, but I don't know.
It's Eric Bischoff. He's passed anyway. He's past tense. Get out of here. But guys, thank you so much. Like I said, we have not done one since the 1st January of the year, but after 6 weeks and a scary time for me as a friend of Saul to have him back.
For me as well, yeah.
Yeah, obviously Saul has had a rough 6 weeks. But the point is, as you can see, Saul's just over there. Back doing videos. Back on the SR Reviews channel. Back being the best damn person I know. And I'm very, very grateful to have him back.
Right as well.
Oh, cheers, mate. But yes, please show a lot of love to Saul in the comments and anywhere else, because he deserves it. And remember, every subscription that SR Reviews gets and MrRammyWooWoo gets, both channels, I will be donating 10p towards cancer research on April the 1st, as the time slot is until the end of March. So make sure we support a great cause, show what a great community we can build. And guys, thank you for watching the Raw review.
See you next time.
Peace.